Hi, it's Dave from Hector's Smokehouse, and today I'm going to show you how to make pizza dough. All I'm doing is using the simple recipe that came with the uni, so it's the one that works really well in here with no sugar, because if you put sugar into your pizza dough, chances are you're going to burn the pizza. So this one is a very simple recipe with yeast, water, salt, flour and olive oil. So a very simple recipe, but I'll go through the recipe and show you how to make it. And then in other videos, I'll show you how to actually do the pizza on the uni. So for this pizza dough recipe, we're going to use the uni pizza dough, that comes in the book with the uni. So we're going to start with the wet ingredients first. And in terms of the wet ingredients, we've got 300 grams of water, or 1 1/3 cups. And typically we've got 2/3 of that is cold water with some boiling water, 1/3 boiling water at top, takes it to the right temperature. We're then going to add in some dry yeast. The dry yeast is 7 grams of dry yeast, or 3/4 of a tablespoon. That's going to go into there, and that'll start to activate it because there's some warmth in the water. And then we're going to add into there 20 grams or 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So that's the wet ingredients, and then what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to start to sift 500 grams or 2.5 cups of type 00 flour into a bowl, and 10 grams or 1 tablespoon of salt into a bowl as well. So that's the wet ingredients done. And the dry ingredients, it's going to be 500 grams of flour, so we're sifting the flour and also adding the salt into there as well. In this recipe, you can either knead it by hand, or in this case, I'm going to put it into a mixer, Kenwood mixer, and I'm going to mix it for 10 minutes with a dough hook. So that's all the dry ingredients into there. So you can see the dry ingredients, and I've got the wet ingredients. So I'll go over to the mixing bowl, and I'll show you them starting to go together. Okay, so I've got the sifted flour in here now, and in the wet mixture I've got the olive oil, the water and the yeast. So I'm going to start adding these into there. Drop this down. Okay, so that's it all added in there. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I'm going to leave this running now for around about 10 minutes. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like in about 10 minutes after it's been kneaded. Okay, so that's been about 10 minutes. And there you go, so there's the dough on there. So I'll just give this a quick knead on the bench. But I think that doesn't look too bad. So we'll knead it on the bench and see what it looks like, but it saves me trying to do a lot of the hard work. So I'll knead this, and then what I'm going to do is put it aside to prove in a minute. Okay, so here we go. This is what we've just mixed up. So I'll see if I can get it out of here. I'll just put it on here, and yeah, that feels pretty good. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So that's pretty good and ready now. So what we'll do is I've got a bowl here, so I'm going to leave this in the bowl, and we'll leave it in here now for about 2 hours. So we'll give that 2 hours in the bowl. We'll leave it in a warm place and it should start to rise, and we'll just cover it over with a tea towel, and then we'll let it rise for a couple of hours. Okay, so you can see now pizza dough has risen very nicely. So I'm going to pull that apart and put it into pizza balls, and reckon out of that mixture you're supposed to get about 5 lots of pizza balls out of there. Just putting a bit of olive oil into this pan. So I'm going to make these little pizza balls in here, give them the olive oil to actually sit on. So make sure I've got a bit of flour on my hands to handle this. So I'm just going to grab a handful of the dough and then just start to fold it under into shape. So you're just putting your hands underneath it and folding it under. So stick them on there. Again, a bit of so again, got a bit of flour on my hands and then start to fold it under. And there you go. So there's 5 of them. I'm just going to put a bit of olive oil on my hands and just give them a quick rub over the top, because they can start to form a bit of a crust. So I'm hoping a little bit of olive oil should stop the crust from forming. And then I'm going to leave these for about 25 minutes and let them rise a little bit more. So put those on, cover them back over with a tea towel, and we'll check them in about 20 minutes. Okay, so the dough's been resting now for about 30 minutes, and you can see you've got the sizes a little bit differently, but you can see they've puffed up quite nicely. So they look pretty good. So that's the end of the video for this part of it. So I've gone through the making of the pizza dough, and what I'll do is in the next video you should see a link in the corner or up at the top, and the next video is actually going to be stretching the dough and putting it onto the UUNI pizza peel, making the pizza and actually cooking the pizza on the UUNI.